Why, hello there. My name is Sebastian, founder of Seb Rocks. Don't wear it out. I have done many things around my entire channel for a good while. Remember the flossing kid? Yeah, those were good times. Remember Justin Bieber? That one lost video I have? Shania Twain? And just recently, MGK? It's been great doing this channel for a while. But other than music and such, I also try to give attention to many things that are popular and also not as popular. And boy, do we have an interesting show to talk about today. Hey, do you know about that specific Amazon Prime show that came out around last year titled Fairfax? I have something to admit. I have seen it.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap.
Fairfax was a show that I heard circling around social media around last year. And I was just like, is this a real thing? It can't be. A show satirizing hype beast culture? This is like the last thing the world needs. But then I became curious to see it, and so I did. Fairfax is an adult-driven animated show that revolves around 4 middle school kids that chase their quest for clout and fame on Fairfax Avenue in Los Angeles. Okay, as dumb as that premise sounds, after witnessing the first season of this show, I have to say that it is really not that bad. Hear me out. I'm not saying this is some underrated masterpiece, an uncut gem. I'm just saying that there is a little more, like a little something in this show that I kind of notice that a lot of other viewers don't notice. Let me put it more in detail. The main character in this show is Dale, a new kid that is moving to the block. And by the block, I mean Fairfax Avenue in LA. So you know that block is hot. Dale moves in here with his father, who owns a weed shop. Bear with me here. Dale is pretty much the country bumpkin, trying to find his way around LA. But then he comes across these 3 friends. These 3 friends that would forever change his life and worldview. Let me speak about these friends. Benny is a hype beast who likes to collect every different drop from Supreme. Oops, I meant Latrine, this world's version of Supreme. He is definitely the most extroverted of the bunch. Truman is an inspiring filmmaker that has a major interest in the medium and uses his craft to get opportunities in the subject. No wonder I kind of relate to this guy in a way. And Derica is an activist that fights for what she believes in. Yeah, fight the power. She's an interesting character through all these factors, and even uses those factors to help Dale run for president in one episode. These 4 friends stick together, and even help Dale know about the specific definitions of hype beast culture.
What's everyone waiting for?
Latrine's Thursday drop.
Totally. What's a drop? The f*** you just say?
Please bear with me here. This show is a modern look at the struggle of trying to be cooler than you are, to fit in while you stand out, and what it feels like to wait in line for a new pair of sneakers that you're never going to cop. I don't relate to that in any way, but that's what this show is saying. Which, a lot of this show is extremely focused on in terms of pop culture and hypebeast culture. If you don't know much about this stuff, you're most likely going to miss a lot of the references and jokes here. But the character of Dale exists to be the outsider and be the guy that asks a question when a term that he doesn't understand shows up. Oh, get it? He's the viewer's perspective. I mean, personally, I'm not a hypebeast obsessor myself. I actually think I'm kind of like Dale here, but there's a tiny bit more to the show than this. Cartoons aimed at adults don't usually have a super good rep, as a lot of them are really just very lowbrow comedies that always aim for the raunch factor. And they're usually, again, comedies. But it's nice to see that we're getting more variety in adult cartoons now. I am saying this to tell you that Fairfax doesn't really reinvent this, but there's a little more heart to it than one would expect. The thing that hits me about the show is the fact that under all the hypebeast culture stuff, all the Gen Z and millennial talk, whatever, this show, at its core, is about friends vibing and sticking up for one another and helping each other out. There is shockingly this warm feeling to this whole dynamic which is present in the show. The fact that Dale, the outsider, is welcome to a trio of extra, and I mean extra, ordinary people that have goals of their own warms my heart. These 4 friends at the most just strive to be popular and master their own skills. Now within this observation, this show still has some what the fuck moments and such. For example, let's go for a rundown across a few episodes. Like the first episode, which is pretty much the pilot of the whole thing, in which the conflict of the first episode revolves around a Dr. Phil tea that drops from latrine. Damn, I didn't know Dr. Phil was valuable. The second episode shows Dale trying to get followers and trying to be popular on social media, while Derica tries to give Benny a super cleanse, which is about as vague as you think it is. The third episode, which involves the friends in their classroom going on to an old folks' home, in which each of the 4 characters have their own subplot with a different senior citizen. Especially Derica meeting one of her idols, Gloria Alvarado, which I don't know if that's a real person or not. Maybe I thought she was like a real activist, but I'm not sure actually. The fourth episode, Dale hates his dad, which is probably my least favorite episode, which involves Dale getting upset at his father, which makes the whole internet hate Dale's dad. Which I thought the joke around Dale hating his dad was extremely drawn out. But that episode did have a plus in the subplot revolving around Derica saving a whale, which I thought was cute, if a little over the top later in the episode. But the strength of this show is the characters' personalities and their interactions with these personalities. There's another episode, which is a pretty good one, titled Chernobyl Fest, which this episode is about the Fab Four going on a festival that promotes pollution and radiation. Oh, it resembles music festivals that do this. Oh. I like this episode as it gives a little depth with Dale and his relationship with his friends as a whole, further strengthened with a guest star that helps him believe in himself later in the episode. Who is this guest star, you ask? Well, guess who?
Gosh darn it! Can the heavens bless me with a tiny-handed cherub to save my dang fit?
Shania Twain! Never thought I was gonna see her in this show. You can't make this up, man. And yeah, that is literally Shania Twain playing herself. Shania Twain shockingly has an important role in this episode too, in which she helps Dale believe in himself, which I thought was cute.
I believe I could be of some assistance.
Wow, that do impress me much.
Damn, bro, you got the whole squad laughing.
The first season has a conflict near the end, in which 3 of the friends try to get this special drop named the Golden Dorito, in which if they can get it, it grants them and their friend Benny access to the latrine factory. Get what this is referencing? But seriously, this little plot detail leads to the last episode of the first season, which is probably the best episode of the first season, let's be honest. And it's also a pretty good parody of Willy Wonka. Like call it Willy Wonka and the Supreme Factory, or in this case, Willy Wonka and the latrine factory. Yeah, sure. For the negatives, this show could often be so ridiculous in the things that it parodies that sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Also, for the things that the show tackles, it tackles it in a way that's definitely not subtle and it's very over the top. Just let me ask you, like, this show is probably not for everybody. But for the flaws that this show has, when Fairfax works, it shockingly works in a specific level. But the main thing that hits me about the show is the dynamic and the friendship that consists of Dale, Truman, Benny, and Derica. They are great friends. Alright? Again, I'm not saying that the show is a masterpiece, but for what it is, Fairfax is a tad better than one would expect, and I'm surprised that I got something out of it. For the first season, for the guilty pleasure watchability that this show kind of has, I'll just be a little generous with it and just give it a light 7 out of 10. From what I've heard recently, they're actually dropping a second season on June 10th, in which I'll definitely tune in because I'm a little bit invested in this whole concept and dynamic as extremely ambitious as it is. But I mean, I'm not putting this show in like a high caliber. I mean, like, there's other shows that I'm like more anticipating right now, and as with like The Boys season 3, Miss Marvel, Stranger Things season 4 volume 2. But Fairfax season 2, I'll definitely check that out, alright? If you are interested in the show, I think you'll probably get something out of it also. You'll probably get some good laughs too.
Big Bill!
Yeah. No.
That ain't it.
Nobody dabs anymore, Jesus.
So, yeah, that's my little tiny review on Fairfax. Yeah, but if you like what you see here, please like and subscribe. Ciao.